quick rundown on the differences that I can see between their BA gas rods, and this is the con rods out of the original engine I built for my AU Falcon. So cut them open and dig one out. We'll make a comparison. And I'll give you an explanation on why I'm using those rods in this build. So I know for a fact that BA Falcons rev easily to 7,000. AUs usually they run around about 5.5. You push them to 6 if they can breathe that far, but I'm not happy to run it that hard. So it's an AU conrod out of a petrol petrol AU Falcon, and that's the conrod out of a gas BA Falcon. Like I said, I know that these engines will rev past 7,000 without much of a problem in standard form. As you can see, the section here is quite more robust. This section here is still very similar, but the material that's built up in this area is quite more significant. The little end is very similar, but there is still a little bit more material in the little end. So my reasoning is that I'm planning to build this new engine to run to about 6,500, maybe 7. So I know these rods will do the job. I'm going to run a little bit more compression, and I don't believe that's going to be a problem for these rods. These rods I'm a little bit suspect, so I've opportunity to get hold of a set of rods out of the gas car, and I believe that these are the same con rods that we used in the BA turboed engine, so they can handle more boost, far more than what these can. So hence why I'm using them. I've just weighed them. They weigh 692 grams, and over that set of 6 rods they're all the same weight. So I was considering maybe balancing them to bring them up and make sure they're all the same, but they're all weighed the same as they are, within a gram. I don't believe I need to modify that. So they're the rods I'm using. They need to get sent away and get cleaned and resized. They are a pressed little end, same as these. These are a pressed little end. I've got my brother on the hunt for a set of pistons. My brother has been racing or building race engines for quite some time. We both have the motorsport disease. He does drag racing, I do circuit racing. So he's looking into a set of pistons for me. So once we get hold of them, I'm still thinking I'll probably still run with the press pin, unless we can't get a set of pistons I'm happy with the press pin. If need, we'll get them honed, so it's then a floating pin, and if that's a floating pin, we need to get the pistons that have a circlip in them, so the little end can't come out. As you see here, they're what's called a press pin, so that pin is pressed into here. In a floating pin, there's a circlip in here to stop that pin from floating out and damaging the bore and destroying things. There's pros and cons for both. The fact that I'm not revving this thing hard as far as competition engines are concerned, I think a press pin would still suit. But if we can't find a piston to do the job that I need, then we'll get them honed and make a floating pin. That's the differences I see. So that one and that one. You can see here the cap is quite significantly more. There's quite a bit more material in here than there is in here. So engine speed, this is when on exhaust stroke. This is when this gets stressed the most, because there's no load on the piston to slow this thing down, and that then tries to go out the top of the engine. With this more material here, that stops that from happening. You don't have a cap stretch. So that's the differences between the two that I see.